Hi there, r/confession time. Cop pulled me over and I called 911 and lied to get out of going to jail. When I was 19 I was running late to work in my tiny Pose economy car and on fumes of gas I didn't come to a complete stop on a right turn. Lights behind me so I pull over. I know I've barely got any gas at all and was almost to a gas station. Hence why I rolled through the stop a little, trying not to have the car die. At the time, around 1995, a new digital phone had come out called Voice Esteem, now T-Mobile, and their whole big thing was the phones were digital and not cellular. They were the first phones with caller ID, and one of the big things the salesman had said over and over was since it was digital the signal couldn't be triangulated or traced. Not that I cared, but it stuck in my mind. Well, as I give the cop my license, registration and insurance card I got an idea. I knew if I was late to work I was going to lose my job. They were super strict there. So I get an idea, and right after I hand the papers to the cop and he's walking back to his cruiser I called 911 and tell the operator I just saw a guy with what looked like a shotgun walk into a 7-Eleven that was about 2 blocks away. I confirmed the address, then I hung up. About 30 seconds later the cops comes sprinting to my car and hands me all my stuff and rushed says, "Come to a complete stop next time." Then peels off to the direction of the store. Pushed my car to the gas station that I'd almost made it to and felt pretty pleased with my ingenuity. I was an idiot and I confess. Edit. Whoa, this blew up. I forgot to mention I would have gotten arrested, booked and released, because I was driving with a suspended license for unpaid traffic tickets and I had a bench warrant for it, because I'm an idiot. So it wouldn't have been just a few minutes late to work. The job was a physical high turnover one that didn't tolerate much. Thank you to the kind souls giving me these medals awards. Don't think I deserve them, but I'll pass it along to those who do. I once got out of a ticket because the cop got called to another scene. Not my doing, but I was sure thankful. I once got out of a ticket because someone else sped past and nearly hit the cop in the process. I once got out of a ticket because I sucked his dong. Am I missing something? Why would you go to jail for what started as a routine traffic stop? Forgot to mention I'd already gotten my license suspended for tickets and had a bench warrant. I was an idiot. Damn. Dodge a big bullet there. I punched a girl in the face for kicking me in the balls. I was 16, at school, hanging out with my friends, and a couple of people that were not so much my friends. A couple of girls had a habit of kicking guys in the balls over bullshit, smallest disagreements, mutual insult throwing, or even for fun. I had warned them before that I would someday do something they ain't gonna like if they kept it up. Of course they had to put that to the test. Go to see just how much you can abuse people before you give it up. So we were standing in a circle. Apparently I said something she disagreed with. Wasn't even an insult or anything. She feints to kick me in the balls. I tell her again, if she does that, something's gonna happen. She apparently takes it as a challenge. Gives me the hardest ducking kick in the balls I ever received. I collapse. Feel like dying. Puking. Shitting my pants. Can't breathe. Absolute agony. Some of my friends are concerned. Scold her. Some a-holes, including her, are laughing their asses off. While I'm trying not to break into tears, I stand up 5 minutes later, feeling worthless. She's still laughing. I get the greatest rush of anger and emotional pain pent up over 2 years of those beaches kicking me and other guys, including some of my friends, in the balls like we're less than dogs. And before I can think, my fist catapults itself into her ugly, laughing face. She collapses with blood streaming from her nose, wailing like a little beach, as if she didn't like being put in so much pain that she collapses. Weird. Her like-minded friends look like they've seen a ghost. Start screaming insults at me in sheer disbelief. And even though I was suspended for 2 weeks, and she got no punishment whatsoever, this was the most satisfying, liberating thing I've ever done. And I regret nothing. Got a reputation as a woman beater among some classmates, as if I randomly attacked gentle, harmless girls, who actually deserve being protected, for the fun of it. But my friends stayed by my side, and no more balls were kicked after that. Would do again. Don't give a duck that she doesn't have balls. I shit on my neighbor's doorstep. So back when I was 10 my dad asked me if I wanted to make $20 I accepted. The catch: I had to shit on our neighbor's doorstep. It was clear my dad had beef with this woman. She woke in the morning and tried to blame our chihuahua. My dad yelled at her saying that the shit was bigger than our dog. Impossible. The point is, I don't feel bad. Forever daddy's girl. I thought I was a pretty good dad until I was tested. My son threw a snowball at me and I instinctively blocked it with my daughter. The look of betrayal on her snow-covered face has haunted my dreams for years. My little cousin cracked my iPhone XS Max screen. Made my aunt pay $329 knowing I have Apple Care and it only cost me $29. My little cousins are the biggest shits in the world and my aunt pretty much lets them do whatever they want without consequence. They were roughhousing and knocked my phone off the counter, shattering the screen. My closest Apple store is about 2 hours away and it's a huge inconvenience for me to drive there, not to mention the extra gas. So instead of explaining this to her, she's the kind of person who doesn't care about things that don't affect her directly. I told her it was $329 to fix, which is true if I didn't have Apple Care. She wrote me a check for $329 and I only had to pay $29 and I pocketed the extra $300. I consider that my non-disclosed inconvenience fee. Edit: my cousins are 14 and 15. Not exactly toddlers. I slept with my daughter's ex-boyfriend. He got me pregnant and I had an abortion. They got back together and got married. This was back in, let me think, maybe 1997. I was 38 and my daughter was 18. And she was dating Harry, who was 24. I was an alcoholic and dabbled in other drugs, mostly cocaine. I was not a good person, let alone mother. Not like I was abusive to my daughter or anything, but I was generally inattentive and cared more about my alcohol and drugs than her, especially in her teen years. I am 14 years sober now. I disapproved of my daughter dating Harry, but I never told her why. He would flirt with me constantly, and the age difference also creeped me out. Also, he was an alcoholic and drug user, just like me. She broke up with him over his alcoholism. Soon after she moved away, not too far, but regardless she didn't live with me anymore. Harry kept calling me and asking if we wanted to get drinks. I turned him down. But then one day he said he had a bunch of coke and I couldn't resist. He came over, we did the coke, and we ended up having sex. He was a very good looking guy. He looked a lot like that ridiculous 80s Justin Bieber picture that was on the front page today. That is actually what made me think about him. For the next few months, maybe like 3-4 months, he would sometimes come over and we would have sex and do drugs and get drunk together. Any drug addict knows what that is like to have a drug addict buddy in that way. Then I got pregnant. I knew it was by him. I had sex without a condom a few times stupidly. I never told him I was pregnant. And I went and got the abortion and kept it a secret. Anyways, I stopped seeing him after that. It was too weird. I also got sober for like 4 months before relapsing. Fast forward 2 years and my daughter contacts me and tells me that she got back with Harry and that he is fully sober. I was mortified, honestly. He was gonna tell her that we slept together and she is going to hate me for life. They came over one day and said hi, and when my daughter was gone, Harry told me that there is no reason to tell her about what happened. I agreed. It's been 16 years of marriage on their part. They have a kid together. Harry got cancer, then beat it. I got sober. That's basically it. I don't see them very often. They live in Texas and I live on the East Coast. But whenever I do, there is always that tension between me and Harry. It's literally the first thing that comes to either of our minds. I can just tell. Not like sexual tension, like why did we have to do that? What the duck is wrong with us? Kind of tension. I think about this often, especially when I see my grandson. I always think that could have been my son if things had gone differently. But wow, what a disaster that would have been if I decided to keep that child. I stole my dad's car at night to lose my virginity to a chick I had never met. Hi, I am 20 now, but this happened when I was barely 16. I met this girl on Hot or Not who said she wanted to have her way W me, so I was like, dope, I am gonna get some good strange for my first time. I decided to meet up her on a Friday night. I waited for my parents to go to sleep, then snuck out my window my dad's keys and stole his car to meet this girl I had never met. I call her on my parents' house phone right before I sneak out to make sure she knows I am coming over. They took my cell phone at night. So I get there and guess what? She not there. I drive back to the McDonald's down the road from her place and call her using the phone number I had written on my handwritten Google Maps directions. Again had no cell. She tells me she will be home in 30 minutes, so I wait it out. I go there around 12:30 am and she's waiting for me out on the porch. I walk up and I was like, oh shit, she's a lot less attractive than in her pics. But I am already here and went through this much shit to get here, so duck it, why not? We do the thing while on the floor, and 2 days later I got ringworm on my ass cheek. I also neglected to tell her I was a virgin till I was done smashing. Haven't told anyone except my close guy friends that story. Edit. She had dogs that rubbed their ass on the floor and I was unaware, so it gave me ringworm on my ass cheek because she wanted to duck on the floor. It was a terrible night but memorable. Edit 2. Wow, thanks guys for the gold and hella up votes. Love y'all. I once left lesbian hante in the search history on the family computer as a kid and my dad took the blame for me. Sorry, Dad. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.